The message arrived at 3:47 a.m., and it changed everything. For words flashed on Alex Carter's encrypted phone. They know everything. Run. What was supposed to be a simple intelligence pickup in Prague becomes the beginning of a deadly conspiracy. His team has vanished. His safe house is staged. His tracker is offline. And the voice giving him orders belongs to a man who's already dead. Every ally is now a suspect. Every message could be a trap. Someone inside the agency is Raven, a ghost who's been selling secrets, killing agents, and controlling missions from the shadows. When Alex receives conflicting warnings, one pointing to Director Webb, another to Martha, another to Sophia, he realizes the truth. The real enemy knows all their protocols, all their weaknesses, all their secrets. In the heart of Prague, at the Kafka statue, everything explodes. A dead man walks back into the light. A trusted mentor reveals her true face. And a global organization steps out from the dark. This is the story of betrayal, manipulation, and the moment Alex Carter discovers that in the world of espionage, loyalty is a weapon, and trust is the first casualty. Welcome to a world where the enemy wears familiar faces, and the truth can get you killed. Alex Carter stared at his encrypted phone in the darkness of his Prague hotel room. For words glowed on the screen. They know everything. Run. No signature. No context. Just a warning from an unknown number that made his blood run cold. He'd been in Prague for 36 hours on what should have been a routine intelligence pickup. A Russian defector with information about a new biological weapon. Simple extraction. In and out. But nothing felt simple anymore. Alex dressed quickly, his mind racing through protocols. Who sent the message? Who were they? And what did everything mean? His earpiece crackled Jake's voice, but something was off. Too calm. Too measured. Alex, you awake? We need to move up the extraction timeline. The defector's getting nervous. Copy that, Alex said carefully. What's the new location? Charles Bridge. 30 minutes. Come alone, he won't show if there's a team. Come alone. Every instinct Alex had developed over 10 years screamed warning. Jake never suggested solo operations. Martha coordinated teams. George provided backup. That was protocol. That was survival. Understood, Alex said, already planning not to follow those instructions. He slipped out the hotel's service entrance, taking a route he'd memorized on arrival through the old town's narrow streets, where CCTV coverage was minimal. The pre-dawn darkness of Prague felt oppressive, medieval buildings looming like silent witnesses. His phone buzzed again. Different number. Don't trust Harrison. Check the Vienna files. M? Martha? But that wasn't her secure number. And what Vienna files? Alex's mind flashed back 3 weeks. Vienna? A seemingly successful operation intercepting Chinese intelligence. But there had been something odd. The Chinese operatives had seemed surprised, as if they'd expected different American agents, as if they'd been given bad information. He changed direction, heading not toward Charles Bridge, but toward the safe house where Martha and George were supposedly coordinating. If something was wrong, he needed to see their faces, read their body language. Trust had to be verified now, not assumed. The safe house was a converted apartment in Vienna, residential and anonymous. Alex approached carefully, using his key rather than knocking. The silence inside was immediate and wrong. No equipment humming. No voices. No Martha reviewing intelligence on multiple screens. Empty. He found the note on the kitchen table in George's handwriting. Emergency extraction to Berlin. Compromised location. Will contact when secure. G. But the coffee pot was cold. Dust on the monitors suggested no one had been here for at least 12 hours. This wasn't a sudden evacuation. This was staged. Alex's phone rang. Director Webb's number. He answered cautiously. "Carter, where the hell are you?" Webb's voice carried an edge Alex had never heard before. "You missed 3 check-ins. Your tracker went offline. We thought you were compromised. Sir, I received an anonymous warning, then instructions from Jake that didn't feel right. When I came to the safe house, it was abandoned." Silence on the line. Too long. "Carter, Jake Harrison was killed in a car accident in London 48 hours ago." The world tilted. "That's impossible. I spoke to him 10 minutes ago. Then you spoke to someone pretending to be Jake. Someone with access to his voice patterns, his communication protocols, his knowledge of your operations." Webb's voice hardened. "Alex, someone inside our organization has been playing us. 3 operations in the last 6 months: Vienna, Budapest, Athens, all compromised. Good agents are dead. And the common factor is your team." "My team?" Alex felt the walls closing in. "Martha and George have served for 20 years. Or Sophia Romano. She's been on 4 of your last 5 operations. Always conveniently nearby. Always with perfect intelligence from sources we can never verify." Sophia, the ghost, the woman who appeared and disappeared, who'd saved his life in Rio but vanished before debriefing, whose loyalties were more fluid than water. "Where is she now?" Alex asked. "According to flight manifests, she arrived in Prague yesterday. 20 minutes after you did." Alex moved to the window, scanning the street below. A black sedan was parked across from the building. It hadn't been there when he arrived. "Sir, I'm being watched. Get out of there. Now! Trust no one until we sort this out. There's a backup extraction team inbound, but they're 4 hours out. You're on your own until then." The line went dead. Alex grabbed a go bag from the safe house's hidden compartment cache, alternate identity documents, a clean weapon. As he did, he noticed something. The bag's emergency beacon had been activated. Someone knew he'd come here. Someone was tracking him. He left the beacon, took the supplies, and exited through the building's rear access, emerging into a narrow alley. Dawn was breaking over Prague's spires, the city waking up around him. His mind worked through the puzzle. If Jake was dead, who'd been communicating using his protocols? If Martha and George had evacuated, why stage it to look recent? If Sophia was the traitor, why warn him? Unless none of them were the traitor. Unless the traitor was someone else entirely. Someone who knew everyone's protocols, everyone's locations, everyone's weaknesses. Someone at the very top. Alex found an internet cafe in the tourist district, paying cash, using a VPN to access the classified server. The Vienna files Martha's message had mentioned he'd never looked at them closely. The operation had succeeded, or so they thought. But now, examining the intelligence trail, he saw it. Small discrepancies. Timing that didn't quite match. Chinese agents who'd been captured too easily, as if they'd been sacrificed. And the source of the original intelligence that had sent them to Vienna, Director Webb's office. His phone buzzed. Another message. This time from Martha's verified secure number. "Alex, Webb is Raven. He's been selling operations to the highest bidder for 3 years. Jake found out. That's why he's dead. We're in hiding. Can't contact through official channels. He controls everything. Meet us at the Kafka statue, Old Town Square, 1 hour. Come armed. But that could be another trap. Anyone could have Martha's phone if she was compromised or dead. Alex had 1 hour to decide who to trust, who to believe, who was trying to kill him, and who was trying to save him. He thought about Webb's tone on the call. urgent but controlled, telling him to trust no one, the perfect instruction to isolate an agent you plan to eliminate. He thought about Jake's voice, giving him instructions to come alone to Charles Bridge, a perfect kill zone for a setup. He thought about Martha and George's abandoned safe house. Too clean, too convenient. He thought about Sophia Romano, always there, always helpful, always mysterious. One of them was Raven, maybe more than one. Alex checked his weapon, loaded a fresh magazine, and made his decision. He would go to the Kafka statue, but he'd arrive early. He'd watch. He'd wait. And whoever showed up would answer questions, one way or another. 55 minutes later, Old Town Square. Alex positioned himself on a rooftop overlooking the square. The Kafka statue, a rotating sculpture of the writer's head made of moving metallic layers, drew tourists even at this early hour. He watched through his scope. At exactly the appointed time, Martha appeared. Alone, looking nervous, scanning the crowd. George was nowhere to be seen. Then, from another direction, Sophia emerged. She positioned herself 30 meters from Martha, pretending to study a map. But Alex could see she was watching Martha too. Neither woman seemed aware of the other. And then, impossibly, Jake Harrison walked into the square. Alex's breath stopped. Jake, who was supposed to be dead, walking casually, hands in pockets, scanning the area with professional precision. 3 people, 3 impossible variables. And somewhere in that square, the truth. Alex descended from his vantage point, weapon concealed, mind clear. He'd been trained for this. Assess. Adapt. Survive. He approached from Martha's blind side, voice low. Don't turn around. Don't react. Just talk. Who's Raven? Martha's voice was barely a whisper. Webb. It's always been Webb. Jake faked his death when he found proof. We've been gathering evidence. That's a lie. The new voice came from behind Alex. He turned slowly. Director Marcus Webb stood there, weapon drawn but pointed down. His face carried no malice, only exhaustion. The traitor isn't me, Carter. It's her. Webb gestured to Martha. She's been Raven for 6 years, playing everyone, even her own husband. That's absurd. Martha's hand moved toward her purse. Freeze! 3 voices shouted simultaneously. Jake, Sophia, and George had emerged from different positions, all armed, all aimed at Martha. The older woman's face transformed. The kindness evaporated. Cold calculation replaced it. Well, she said quietly, I suppose the game's up. George looked stricken. Martha, why? Because nations are dinosaurs, dear husband. I've been building something better. Something beyond flags and borders. Nexus Global offered me that vision. And enough money to fund it. She looked at Alex. I raised you, trained you, protected you. And you were going to bring me down. I couldn't allow that. The messages, Alex said. The warnings. The setup. All you? All me. Getting you to doubt everyone. Isolating you. Making you vulnerable. She smiled sadly. I would have preferred you join me. You would have been magnificent in the New Order. The New Order is a corporation that wants to own governments, Webb said. We've been investigating them. Martha discovered we were close to exposing her. Alex looked at Jake. You're alive. Fake death to investigate freely. Sophia's been working with MI6 to expose the mole. George suspected but couldn't believe it was his own wife. Jake's expression was grim. We set this up to force the reveal. Sorry you had to go through it. Martha laughed bitterly. And now what? You arrest me? I'll be traded in a prisoner exchange within a year. I have too much knowledge. Too many secrets. "No," Webb said quietly. "You don't get to walk away from this." The shot came from an unexpected direction. Martha fell, a red stain spreading on her jacket. On a rooftop 200 meters away, Alex saw a rifle scope glint once, then disappear. George stood frozen, face blank with shock and grief. "Emily Parker," Webb said into his calm. "Confirmed elimination. Stand down." Alex remembered Emily, the journalist, who apparently was more than she seemed. Epilogue 2 weeks later, Washington, D.C. Alex sat across from Director Webb in the same office where this had all begun years ago. "Martha recruited 17 agents over 6 years," Webb said, "all feeding intelligence to Nexus Global. We're still unraveling the damage. And George? Broken. He never knew. 23 years of marriage to a woman he never really understood." Webb looked tired. "This job takes everything, Carter. Even the people we trust most can be hollow masks over ambition. Why did you suspect her?" "I didn't. Not until Jake brought me evidence he'd been gathering for months. Small discrepancies. Timing that didn't add up. Martha was always just a bit too efficient. Too perfect." Webb paused. "Perfection is a red flag in intelligence work. We're all flawed. All make mistakes. Anyone who doesn't is hiding something." Alex stood to leave, then paused. "Did she really care about any of us? Or were we all just assets to her?" Webb considered the question. "I think she cared in her way, but she cared more about her vision, about power, about being the architect, instead of the tool." He met Alex's eyes. "That's the real betrayal, not that she chose Nexus Global over us, but that she chose ambition over humanity." Alex walked out of Langley into Virginia's sunshine, feeling the weight of trust broken and rebuilt. Somewhere, Martha Collins was being buried with honor she didn't deserve. A hero's funeral for a traitor. Because some secrets had to stay buried. And somewhere else, new threats were emerging. New operations beginning. The work never stopped. But now Alex would check every shadow twice. Question every certainty. Trust, but verify. Always verify. Yendi. For those who serve in a world where loyalty is tested daily, and the greatest enemies sometimes wear familiar faces. Impossible.